And in Zamfara state, the government has disclosed that at least 700,000 residents of the state have been displaced due to banditry and other violent crimes. Briefing journalists in Kaduna State, the State Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Dosara, says most of the victims are now living in internally displaced persons camps, while others have fled their homes to neighboring states for safety. Mr. Dosara noted that tactical and strategic efforts by the government to tackle bandits and other criminals in the state are being sabotaged by unpatriotic citizens. The Commissioner for Information announced that the state government has recruited at least 4,000 to 100 community protection guards to support security agencies in tackling the bandits.
The Zamfara state government is battling very seriously with such conflict entrepreneurs, the informants, the politicians who are using some bad eggs among us, the press, to engage in fake news, engage in fabrication of so many things so that they divert attention of the government or they make people believe that there is no peace in Zamfara state.
Now let's speak with the Managing Director, Beacon Consulting Limited, Kabir Adamu, who is joining me live. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News at 1. Let me start by quoting what the governor said. He said the IDPs were created by bandits across the 14 local government areas of northwest states that make up Zamfara state. That's to say that the state is in dire situation, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Virtually all the local governments in the state have been affected by the activities of this gunmen. Livelihoods have been destroyed. Several of the citizens, according to the state government, 700,000. We believe that there are probably more than that, internally displaced persons. Some of them are actually refugees across the border in Niger. And so that's how life has become really affected in Zamfara state. And mind you, this has been ongoing for more than a decade. And we've not seen any meaningful results in terms of what the state government has been trying to do to quell these activities, unfortunately.
Sometime in the past, there had been negotiations with these bandits by the Zamfara state governor and his Katsina state counterpart. But it looks like the bandits have actually breached the terms of agreement. So is that to say that there should be another renegotiation with these bandits, or another strategies should be deployed?
So with all sense of responsibility, the sincerity with which the state government has pursued the measures that it's implementing, I think is questionable. And again, I say this with all sense of responsibility. When this current governor was sworn in, he set up a committee, and the committee produced a report that has been judged by many as a very good report. Unfortunately, almost 2+ years, we're yet to see an implementation of that report. The white paper was produced, and it has never been released till date. So when we hear this type of statement by officials of the state government, it raises the question, when you've not implemented a report that you paid taxpayers' money for, when the recommendations of the report are yet to be fully implemented, then what is it? Is there an attempt to be politically correct? Now that leads me into the negotiation that the state government went into. A lot of analysts, including myself, felt that the state government did not have the capacity to implement such negotiations. It required to pursue perhaps something similar to a DDR, a demobilization, either de-radicalization or disarmament, as well as the rehabilitation program. But we didn't see that. All we saw is an attempt to use money to lure the bandits. And when the money stopped flowing, they went back to the forest. So the process wasn't as comprehensive as it should have been, unfortunately.
We have actually celebrated the deliveries of Super Tucano and some other weaponry, and then we tend to think it does appear that they haven't been the game changers that we anticipated them to be. So where then lies the hope of common man who are looking forward to seeing the government exterminating these security challenges that we're faced with?
Well, first off, we are in an election period, and so the hope of the common man lies in his ability to vote the right candidates that will solve the challenge. And voting by sentiment, like it happened in the past, I think that some of the consequence of that is what we're living with. So again, that's for me the number one. Number two, the drivers of insecurity that exist within a society like Zamfara, poverty, unemployment, the effects of climate change, the porous borders through which all these weapons are coming in, the ineffective criminal justice system that does not punish arrest of offenders, and the activities of politicians and their cohorts. So all of this, unfortunately, until they are addressed, there is no amount of firepower, whether super tucano or whatever, that would solve the challenge. All those root causes will need to be addressed.
Well, we continue to see how this will definitely come out at the end of the day. Pekin Consulting Limited Managing Director, Kabir Adamo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.